This is going to be a quick video. Today we're talking about minimalism as a mindset and why we attach so much value to stuff. Let's get started. This video is based on a journal entry that I wrote to myself several years ago before we even moved to Italy. Now we're about to leave Italy and move to Japan, and these words are more prevalent now than ever. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kalen. I'm the founder of Freedom Sprout, where we talk about raising intentional children and living intentional lives. If that interests you, please hit the subscribe button below. So this is the journal entry that led to this video. As we're preparing to move to Italy, we're downsizing quite a bit. It's interesting how we think we will need things that we don't miss just one day after throwing it in the donation box. How we perceive our stuff when we're looking at it is usually quite different from how we honestly perceive things in our mind. When we're looking at different items, touching things, holding things, we think about the ways we've used it in the past, but if we're trying to decide whether or not to get rid of it, we're likely no longer using it like we once did. It's amazing how few things we own actually spark joy in our life. That journal entry really got me thinking, and I feel more strongly now about downsizing than ever. I don't know about you, but I know we've spent way too much time going through stuff in the past. Time that we could have spent together doing something more worthwhile as a family. A lot of the reason why we spent so much time and it was so emotionally exhausting to downsize sometimes and to go through things is because we attach so much value to stuff. And attaching a deep emotional value to material possessions, it's simply unhealthy. And I know I've said it a lot before, but we all tend to think that our memories are tied up into these material possessions. Whether it's a World War II coin that your grandfather gave you, a quilt that your grandmother knitted for you, or even stuff that you may have got from a hope chest when you were younger. The memories of these objects and the memories that were created from the objects exist outside of the objects themselves. Those memories don't go away just because we get rid of the thing that created the memory. Honestly, we set ourselves up for failure all the time by keeping old things and attaching more and more sentimental value to them as we go. And that makes it much harder to get rid of these things later, whenever it would have been a lot easier to just get rid of the things in the first place unless they really are bringing joy into your life. A lot of times we just keep things out of guilt or out of obligation that we feel to keep the thing because a certain person gave it to us, and we don't have any sort of obligation to that, and that person, I'm sure, wouldn't want that thing cluttering our house if we don't use it or if it doesn't spark joy. And what happens whenever your 2-year-old knocks that keepsake off the mantle and it breaks? Because for some reason keepsakes are always breakable. If it's really important and really valuable to you, it's probably made out of really thin glass and it's going to break immediately upon hitting any sort of surface. So I just think that we should all ask ourselves that important question. Why do we attach so much value to stuff? Ask yourself that question every time you're looking at something, deciding whether you're going to get rid of it or not. Maybe we should stop attaching so much value to things. Let's keep the value where it should be, with the memories that we make, with the experiences we have, life experiences, raising your kids, dating your spouse, watching your kids grow up, growing your marriage, creating a closer family. None of those things involve stuff. I'm not telling you not to own anything. I'm simply asking you to consider attaching a little bit less value to stuff. Before you go, please subscribe to get more videos on money, minimalism, and our travel journey around the world. If you want to be intentional about raising your children, check out my new book, Intentional Children. I'll put a link to that below. That's all for today. I will see you next week.